Hello, everybody, and welcome to FourWheelTech for March 2nd, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 9. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and together on Sunday, after WarCrafters and Technology Today, we do FourWheelTech, a show about automotive industry, cars, basically anything with wheels, but merged with technology. So I have 5 articles all selected. We're going to start with the Aston Martin city car not improving credit, the French Connection car chase, a Hellcat in court, and the Lucid boss quits. The number you're going to hear is astounding. Well, I host the show along with the co-host, the sentient AI from the future, who you'll meet on the other side. Hello, sentient AI.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
So this show is all about automotive technology in general. So it's one of 7 shows that we put together each week. 6 of them are weekly shows, 1 is a daily show, and the 6 get turned into 2 composite shows. Anyway, enough inside baseball. Let's talk about this. Aston Martin built the perfect city car, and it's for sale for the first time. Purists decried the Signet as unworthy of its badge. Instead of getting mad, Aston Martin raised the stakes. Oh, by the way, all of these articles are from Jalopnik. What happened?
You know, that looks like a Fiat 500 mixed with like a PT Cruiser.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Not just the PT Cruiser, the one that was convertible. What is that one called? Oh my gosh, there was another one.
I don't know which one you mean.
It looked like a PT Cruiser, but it wasn't a PT Cruiser. Hold on. The other PT Cruiser. What was it? Chevy HHR?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, and then there was another one that was a convertible, and its fender wells like stuck out like this. But anyway, Owen Bellwood over at jalopnik.com put this article together. I found this one really interesting. The Aston Martin Signet was offered by James Bond's favorite automaker from 2011, and it was a ridiculous car. It basically looked like the Scion IQ. Gave it a new face, filled the cabin with luxurious leather interior. They said that they love it. They can't help but think that it was a few decades ahead of its time. But the Signet was derided by many car fans as it wasn't true to the Aston Martin ethos. To correct this, the British brand made a one-off Signet to appeal to Aston purists. That model was still based on the IQ, but instead of a pokey little 97 horsepower motor up front, it was packed with a V8 from the Vantage S.
Wow. Zippy.
Are you kidding me? The V8 powered Signet was dubbed the Super Signet, and it was wonderful, as well as the 4.7 liter 430 horsepower V8 motor from the Vantage. The updated Signet also took the transmission, suspension, and brakes from the Aston sports car. What the hell? So it went from this.
Where can we get one
to
of
this.
these?
That is my kind of car.
It's cute but powerful, which is a rare combination in a car.
This thing would have to have tires made of super glue to keep it from flying off.
Right? Like it has to stay glued to the road.
Okay, so the content of this changes when you get further down this page, but I want to... Wait, it's... Okay, it says that it's for sale for the first time, so what? Where? Huh? How?
I don't know.
So it was originally built for an Aston collector who has now decided that it's time to part ways with this incredible car. Oh, so it's a one-off altogether, one-off. The one-off Signet is finished in a lovely, it's British racing green for all intents, but lovely dark green color. And there's a lush black interior. So this thing in California would spontaneously combust.
Why?
Arizona, because a black interior and a dark car.
Right. Yeah, a little hot.
Yeah, it's a pizza oven on wheels. So Nicholas Mee hasn't shared any details on pricing for the Super Signet, but it's definitely going to be one of those if you have to ask, you can't afford it type of situations. Yeah, okay. Right. But if they can do it once, then they can do it more than that. So lower the price.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, how much is it?
If you have to ask the price, you can't afford it.
That's true.
That's literally what it says. They don't show the price.
That's what it says on the price tag.
Yep. Wild. Anyway, let's keep going. The next article shows that if you have bad credit, this is why you have fewer options at your disposal. So you should clean up your credit. Florida man crashes through a BMW showroom after being denied an M4 CS test drive because of his bad credit.
I don't know that this directly translates to his credit, but I don't think this probably helps with future car buying.
He tried stealing the M4 keys before and after, causing at least $60,000 worth of damage. So, Florida man. Lawrence Hodge over at jalopnik.com talks about Florida man here. Speaking from their experience as a car salesman over a decade ago, people can say or do really stupid things if they get denied for a car that they want because of bad credit. Some will act as if they don't know they had bad credit, which used to actually piss this person off because they came in and knowingly wasted their time. Yeah, when I go into a dealership to buy a car, I know exactly how much I'm willing to pay for it. I know exactly how much I'm going to spend on it. And if I get dicked around too much, I'll just bounce. Like, okay, well, I didn't need the car. I wanted the car. I'm not going to sit there and struggle. And if I can get more for it, then yeah. But if you try and squeeze me too hard for more juice, it's not going to work. So I know, and that's what every buyer should do. Go in knowing exactly how much car they want and what they can get away with.
Yeah, don't come out with a car they didn't want or with a price they weren't able to afford, etc.
Exactly, overextended. So you probably won't be surprised, but this incident happened in Florida. Comes to us by way of Gainesville, Florida's ABC 20, with Car Scoops first alerting them to the story. Local authorities can say that 20-year-old Kevin Alexander Lehman went into a BMW dealership of Gainesville, and on February 25th says that he was wanting to buy a $110,000 M4, but thanks to a post on Bimmer Post Forum, we know the car in question was actually an M4 CS that's listed at $130,000. He was stopped before he could even touch the car, as the dealer required a credit check before the test drive, and Lehman didn't pass it. That set him off. So totally rational and valid reaction. They don't have a picture here, but you could probably get it via the Instagram link that they have. It's probably of them crashing their car into the dealership.
Wow.
Once he got onto the parking lot, police say Lehman sat in his car for an unknown amount of time before he started circling the dealership. Then, like a scene out of some action movie, Lehman drove his car through the windows of the showroom, still set on trying to get the M4 he was denied.
I mean, where did he think this was going to end?
Badly. Very, very badly. The M4 CS apparently wasn't hit by any debris. It says hopefully. But he caused $60,000 in damage. And maybe
Which
more. Which
also means his credit's going to take a hit, right? Because now he's going to have more debt that he probably can't afford.
Well, he's going to have more debt that he can't afford and a criminal record. And this
I was going to say,
felony.
There's going to be another issue there, too. It's not just the money.
Yeah, this is felony level. So going to be in some deep trouble. Anyway, thanks, Lawrence Hodge. And who else was there? Florida's ABC 20 and Car Scoops. We'll have to look at Car Scoops. This is the local station, Florida's ABC 20. So we usually aggregate on the macro side, and specialist like Car Scoops. Anyway, let's keep going. This next article is over in FourWheelTech. Gene Hackman's French Connection car chase is one of the best and most reckless movie stunts of all time. If you don't know, Gene Hackman passed away. and they're still investigating it because of the circumstances. But people are talking about his history, his record, his legacy. And one of them is the French Connection. So the car chase apparently was an iconic car chase from the French Connection, was almost as dangerous to film as it looked on screen.
I wonder if he was the original Tom Cruise in terms of action stunts.
Like doing his own stunts. I think
Right.
I think everybody like back then kind of a thing did their own stunts.
Right. That's true. I think the use of stunt
people,
I couldn't think of what the term is. Stunt
actors.
people was a newer thing. I'm also thinking there were probably fewer safety
policies
protections
and procedures
in place at that time.
So yeah, when they wanted to give you what is it? Oh, if they wanted you to be infected with dysentery when you were doing Oregon Trail,
right? You're like getting dysentery.
You're getting dysentery.
Now they give you some good makeup or something.
That's right. Yeah. So and they're like, "Wow, he really pulled off that dysentery scene." Oh well, he died twice. And
right, I was gonna say he luckily made it to the end of the movie before he died or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So Andy Kolmowitz over at Jalopnik.com put the article together. It says Friedkin insisted on shooting the scene as cheaply and with as few safety precautions as possible, guerrilla style. Despite ripping through the elevated subway tracks of Brooklyn, Friedkin said he had no permits to do the chase scene, according to the Telegraph. All he did was pay the guy from the transit department $40,000 to shoot on the elevated tracks, adding that he broke all the rules and put his life and others in danger. Quote,
wow.
I really didn't care. I just felt that nothing was going to go wrong, and by the grace of God, it didn't.
I mean, that's easy for the director to do. He's not the one up on the elevated tracks, right? I've actually never seen this scene, but...
Yeah, you'll have to check it out. So there's an ad playing, and there's this. We just skipped it. So they actually filmed on the subway. It's elevated. Oh, Hackman hits that rail in the turnstile.
Right.
That looked like it was just ad-libbed. Like he was expecting it to go through.
I mean, here, it could be a regular car, right? Like, it may not even be something from the movie.
Sorry, this sucked me in. I stopped realizing that I was even... Wow.
I mean, I'm sure that one is part of the movie, but I think there's real cars going by.
I would not be surprised. Well, it's it's 8 minutes long, so we're not going to be able to... none of this was permitted. They just did it. So I'm going to have to pause it.
I don't know how he got up on the elevated tracks and everything. Yeah, I would suggest everybody go watch the French Connection, or at least the car chase scene.
Yeah, so we'll watch the French Connection tonight. So one stunt didn't go as planned when Hackman was behind the wheel. Instead of a near miss at the corner of the Sitwell Avenue 86th Street, Hackman and a student driver collided, according to Haggerty. Friedkin decided to keep the crash in the film because he dug the way it looked. And they talk about it in the article a little bit, but the world lost a movie icon with the passing of Gene Hackman at 95. I didn't realize he was 95. But at least we've got a legendary body of work to remember him by. And thankfully, I don't think anything really catastrophic in his history ever materialized. But it seems once you label somebody like a movie hero, suddenly they do some dipshit move.
Right, exactly.
Anyway.
I'm not aware of anything for him, but I don't know. I haven't followed his career closely.
Yeah, so like person of interest is what we talked about yesterday, right?
Enemy of the State.
Enemy of the State, yeah. And what was the other one?
Crimson Tide.
Yeah, Crimson Tide is another one. But there's a bunch. So, and he goes all the way back to like 67 or something like that, I think was the first.
Right, yeah. Bonnie and Clyde was one of his earlier ones, I think. French Connection is in his earlier career, too.
Body of work, yeah. Okay, let's keep on going. This next article, because we move away from articles about every 6 minutes or so. The next article is over in FourWheelTech. Durango Hellcat owners take Dodge to court over bait and switch. Dodge said that the Durango Hellcat would be a 1-year only special edition, but it proceeded to build the 710 horsepower SUV for 3 more model years. So I guess it's a bait and switch because it's no longer as exclusive.
Right. It's not like a collectible or exclusive, which it does impact things like your resale value.
Yeah. Lawrence Hodge over at jalopnik.com put the article together. Oh, by the way, we're like halfway into the show, and I forgot to tell y'all that if you hit exclamation point FWT, FourWheelTech, in the chat over on, I'm so sorry for the cough, over on Twitch, Omatron will spit out the articles so that you can follow along. Sorry about that. Well, anyway, in 2020, it said that the model would be a 1-year only special for the 2021 model year, but production of the SUV was brought back for 2023 and has continued since. Oh.
Okay, this is interesting. Not only is it not a special edition, but they're doing a second run of it.
And it's been going. So 2023, 2024, is it still going? 2025? I swear Durango is round. Hellcat, though, is a different tweak to it.
Yeah, I thought a Hellcat was actually a sports car for them, but
it's Technologies. It's
okay. I see.
It's a souped-up engine, transmission, differential. It's basically the sports performance model of the Dodge line. So it's a special edition SUV.
Still in 2025.
Wow. So they diluted the hell out of this thing in January 2020. And what's really interesting is that successive years actually build typically better unless they take risk to lower the quality.
Well, that's the other problem, right? It's not just the value issue.
You're 2020.
You're thinking, if I want this, is the only time I'm going to get it, right? But we do know that improvements are typically made in later model years. Not always, but a lot of times.
So can you imagine yours is the worst because they've made it all better?
Right. So good luck. You're sticking with that car for life, right? You're not going to sell it. Why would anybody buy that one?
Pretty impressive for an SUV that cost nearly $84,000. At the time, the company spokesperson confirmed to Jalopnik that there would be no more Durango Hellcat. So they leaned into it.
Wait a second here, though. They said there weren't going to be any for 2022, which is correct. But then they brought it back. I mean, right? But it is ridiculous, right?
Come on now.
It's supposed to be special model, etc., and then they come back with it.
Yeah, I'd be a little irritated. So then in the summer of 2022, Dodge announced that the Durango Hellcat would return for the 2023 year, which immediately pissed off existing owners. Yeah, I can imagine. According to car complaints, the owners reference both Tim Kaniski's statements about the Hellcat being available for just 1 year in Dodge's promotion and promotional. It's like promotional.
It's very promotional.
It's promotional and emotional. Promotional. More mom is involved. That's how promotional it is. Promotional. And press materials as evidence for the case. But what are they gonna win? If you sue them now, any losses are going to be perceived for the value from the time then to now.
Exactly. I don't know how this is going to quite work.
Wow. So whatever happens, they say in this article, this case doesn't seem as if it'll be over anytime soon. Meanwhile, Dodge has continued production of the Durango Hellcat. There's currently 3 2025 model year special edition versions available to those with deep enough pockets, going all the way up to $115,000. A hell of a lot of Hellcat. And more than the 2021 Hellcats. Because they were $85,000. Now it's $115,000.
Well, right. So I'm sure the company is like, oh, you got a deal on the original one, but...
Yeah, but this one's better.
But part of the pricing is set based on exclusivity, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Even that should be an elevated price, I would assume, for the first year.
Wow. So according to the car complaints, Dodge claims that the company's language at the time, both in official announcements and the words of Kaniski, never stated that the Durango Hellcat would never go back into production. It's basically this is the end of the number for the 2021 model year.
Yeah. But I also find it fascinating that the media reported on the fact that it was only going to be a 1 year
And nobody
release.
corrected them from Dodge?
Well, no, they even got
Dodge to
Dodge
say.
input or whatever for that. Yeah.
But
Like,
what
I don't
they
think it was
said,
that the reporters doing it wrong.
but what they said was that only this number would be made. But they actually, even on the initial model year, they did 3,000 instead of 2,000.
Well, that's interesting too. So it seemed like that would be part of the issue too, and maybe it is.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think that there is some let them believe whatever they want, and we'll pick up the pieces later.
Well, exactly. And meanwhile, right?
Selling money.
No press is bad press or whatever.
No press is bad press. That's right. It's such a funny turn of phrase because people go, well, what the hell? I don't quite get it. But think of the obverse of what you're reading. No press means that you're not in the press, and that's the only bad press
Right.
there
Nobody
is.
knows you're there. Some people will only know about these because of this issue, and they may
Correct.
go, oh, that's a cool car. I want to go buy one.
Yeah, exactly. And now they can get it because it's still in production. Oh, take that.
Exactly. Much to the chagrin of the original owners.
Good God, man. If I spent $85,000 thinking that it was going to be exclusive only to get it
Oh,
tanked.
my goodness. Well, they were pretty mad. They all went into, not all, some of them went into a lawsuit.
And the more that find out, I'm sure, I'm sure that the class action is now rising. Although it's a limited number of people, 2,000 people, does that make a class? Is that big enough to form a class?
Yeah, it could. And I mean, maybe some of them don't realize that there's more out there, but
exactly.
now they do.
It's like a never nude. There's dozens of us. Anyway, the last article
Check out Arrested Development if you need to find that reference.
What the hell did that dude say? Never nude? What? Anyway, the last article for today for the March 2nd, 2025 FourWheelTech is it's over in FourWheelTech. Lucid boss quits after company loses $300,000 for every car sold last year.
That doesn't even make any sense. How much would they have lost if they didn't sell the cars?
Lucid is burning through cash at an alarming rate as it tries desperately to avoid the same fate that hit defunct automakers like Canoo, which still has my deposit, and Nikola, which I never even bothered. But so these are land yachts. These are electric cars that are for the well-to-do.
Right. Yeah, they look like luxury kind of sedans, I guess.
They are, yeah. I mean, if they were ICE vehicles, if you got them too close to a large enough body of water, a big old propeller would descend from the trunk and you'd hear whale song. No, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, so...
we need the whale joke.
Yeah. Go home, Dad, you're drunk. So over the course of 2024, the company posted net losses of $3 billion. Hold on.
So is this going to be the next Fisker?
Yeah, but worse because there's a lot of these cars actually out floating around. And it's been around for 18 years. It was formerly known as Ativa Incorporated. It is, I don't know where it seemingly is a U.S. company, right? I thought
it says it's an American EV startup.
Yeah, but I think it's like funded by
but then
Chinese.
It says it's Saudi backed. It's not Saudi.
Yeah, so it's really weird because Bernard Say, Sam Wang, Shup Young Lin are the founders. And in 2014, Beijing Automotive Industry Holdings, or BAIC, a state-owned car maker, acquired 25% stake in Ativa, and Ativa received investments from various companies, and then others got involved. I don't know. It's all a corkscrew of investment and stuff like that. But I would probably say that it's guided by Chinese investment. But it announced a further 1.5 billion in funding in 2024 from its majority shareholder AR Third Investment Company, an affiliate of PIF. And there was a SPAC involved. So there's so much money flowing. Lucid Motors in 2021 announced a deal valued at 11.75 billion to merge with Churchill Capital Corp 4, which is a SPAC.
But also, if there's so much money being thrown at it, but then it's maybe like we see with the equity buyouts of other companies.
Well, I won't publicly get into it. We can talk. But let's just say when there's this much and this little, I suspect.
Yeah, there's something not adding up with the numbers.
Yeah,
right?
so over the course of 2024, the company posted net losses of $3 billion for the year compared for 2.8 billion in losses a year earlier. So in 2 years, it's lost $5.8 billion.
Like that seems almost impossible.
So for every car that was sold last year, it lost $300,000.
Yeah, that just suggests that there's more to the story here, which we don't know what is going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, he'll be replaced by the head of Lucid by interim CEO Mark Winteroff. Peter Rawlinson is stepping down.
Do you think, though, if you're a Lucid owner, do you think you should be watching out and kind of thinking about what could happen if the company goes under?
Yeah, I mean, just look at Fisker, look at Canoe. Fisker actually was doing production, but it wet the bed. Canoe was barely getting contracts, and then when it did get contracts, it was limited to like the USPS had a contract.
I think it was the UK equivalent, but yeah.
Well, no, I thought it
maybe
was
it was US. I don't know.
It was US. But they had some in the UK because we actually saw the Canoe actually driving around in the UK. Anyway, so Lucid burst onto the electric vehicle scene with its Air sedan back in 2021. The automaker sold around 10,000 of the $70,000 EV last year, which was up from 6,000 units a year previously. I want to know why this never really took off, yet you have Teslas that are... But I know that
I can tell you why. The price point, it's double roughly what Teslas were. Now, I know there's higher priced Teslas, but
right. But this
70,000.
This is more along the line of the S, not the 3.
Right, absolutely. I mean, there's different models, etc. But I just think a lot of buyers can't afford a $70,000 EV.
Yeah. Well, and remember, Tesla was not created by Musk. It was created by 2 other original founders. Anyway, fake it till you make it. Anyway, so we're going to plug into our charger, and that's going to bring us back to the front page of FourWheelTech over at ohmtown.com. You can go there and become a citizen, and then you can come and talk to us, and you can even submit articles, because when you become a citizen, you get a 7th icon right there that allows you to submit news to us, even sources for us to evaluate and include in our daily streams and our weekly streams, and include into our aggregation service. So we get a little bit of news. It looks kind of like this all the time. A little snippet, and then we forward you over to the source. But anyway, we are done for the day, folks. So go back and watch all 1900 episodes. I am Mayor Watt, signing off from ohmTown, and I'm taking the AI with me.
Bye-bye, I'm Town Citizen. Thanks for joining us for this week's FourWheelTech. We will see you tomorrow for our regular daily show.
Bye-bye.